Anyway, 3, 2, 1.
Hey, good
Green
crack.
crack.
Very nice crack.
Green crack.
On a Sunday afternoon, with our glasses in our hands, the hops and barley bloom
Okay, we'll open up about
in
that.
a land of craft and cans.
You want to do...
Every sip,
We'll open
a
up about
story
it.
shared.
And then
Review and taste we dare
I'll go
with
about
our Sunday sips.
and then the beer. And then we'll...
Sunday sips.
Okay.
Every for a trip.
2, 1. Welcome back, everyone, to the Sunday Sips podcast. I'm your host, Kyle Lucas, and that's your other host,
Nick Woodard.
Nick J. Wood.
Hey.
That's your guy. We are back celebrating a out of town beer. Basically going off the like outline of going from local to outside our area, local outside
Yeah, it's a
our
cadence.
area.
Yeah,
Right.
it's a cadence we're trying to have.
We kind of want to do that a little more just to be inclusive and tag all the beers that we love and then tag all the beers that you guys might be a little more akin to.
It's an interesting situation because, you know, we are very fortunate to have an area that we call home that is houses so many great breweries and so many great beers. Like, there truly is no shortage of just fantastic beers in this area. So
True.
we want to be able to highlight those as much as possible, but we also want to try beers that are going to, you know, push the envelope a little bit. They're going to be a little bit different from what we're used to. That are going to expose us to new things, new styles and things like that. And that requires, you know, getting out of your comfort zone, going to some different areas and seeing what's up. So
Ultimately, like, I feel like we both know a lot about beer in general, but I feel like this podcast could open your guys' eyes to the world of beer, and I hope it opens our eyes a little bit more to the world of beer. Today, we have a 6.2 ABV Barrett American Brown Ale from South Lake Brewing Company. So if you look at that can, it's super generic, super awesome. And I say generic in a loving way because it's very simple artwork.
Yeah.
You're
Yes.
getting toasted by the fire, but it's awesome. It's super cool. It's got a little campfire on it, and it just like reminisces like what maybe this beer is going to be about.
Yeah.
And I'm super excited to try it. 6.2 is a little high.
6.2, yeah.
Little brown ale.
Brown ale. We don't do a brown ale there. I don't know if we've ever done a brown ale on the podcast.
Not on the pod. Not on the pod. We haven't.
So this will be a first. I'm excited for that.
So I personally haven't been to South Lake Brewing, but Nick has.
So I have. So my good buddy Christian, shout out Christian
Christian
Fuchs.
my boy.
Hey. He had his bachelor party last year in South Lake, Tahoe,
South Lake.
and I arrived early. I was the first one to get up there. I took a half day off of work. Everyone else had to work a full day.
And that's where you
I
went?
drove down and got set up at the house. I said, you know, I gotta eat. So I went down to South Lake Brewing, got a bite to eat, had some beers.
Let it be known he chose brewery, of course.
Of course. Tahoe is known, among many other things,
For breweries.
is for having some really good breweries.
Good breweries.
So I wanted to try South Lake. I'd heard good things.
We'll cover many more.
Oh, of course. I was not disappointed at all. Side
Right.
note, and we can talk about this on the pod.
Good
Side
facility.
Note,
Everything.
good facility. They had like they were doing a karaoke night there when I got
Awesome.
there, which is
Awesome.
interesting because you don't. It's weird being the lone guy in the corner of the brewery.
Yeah, it's weird.
While
It's
everyone
weird.
else is together having fun
Sure.
doing a karaoke night.
It can be
But
weird.
it was still a fun vibe. People were
Right.
nice to me. It was cool.
Right.
I
Good space.
as we were recording a previous podcast, I had this idea. I didn't bring it up on the podcast, but I want to bring it up now.
Sure.
I think there's a cool mini series built into our podcast that could be not live necessarily, but recording our experiences while at new breweries. Because
Absolutely.
we do go check out new breweries. We do that.
I've been thinking about that too.
And I like the idea of being there in the flesh, like letting you guys know our vibe and what we're thinking as we're experiencing it.
Right. Little webisodes.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I think about, the first time we went to Ramble, the first time we went to places like, Moonraker comes to mind.
Even Secret Trail.
Or even like Block 15 in Oregon.
Yeah.
Like all these kinds of places that we got to experience. Like it'd be fun to like capture that and share it with
in
folks.
real time.
Yeah. Because I think about that South Lake experience. It was a lot of fun being there, but I didn't get to share it with anybody. So it would have been cool to be able to capture that in some way and share it.
Yeah, honestly, you were probably going through your mind. You're like, God, I wish my buddy Kyle was here.
Dude, that's 100% what I thought. I was like, God, if Kyle was here, we would be just having a blast.
Over the moon.
Slamming beers, getting after it, having a good time.
Yeah.
But awesome
Still
brewery.
good time.
No,
Still
great time. We had a great weekend. It was a lot of fun. Celebrated Christian in style. Had some bottomless mimosa brunches one of the days, and spent some time right on the shore of the lake, and it was good. It was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah. So I mean, South Lake Brewing, pulled up their website. This is a little bit about them, because this is the first time we've covered them. 2009.
Okay.
2009. Right. I was a freshman.
16 years. Yeah.
I was a freshman in high school.
Yeah.
You were a freshman?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. 2009.
Sounds right.
While in college on the Central Coast, Chris was first introduced to home brewing and eventually got a job in the craft beer industry. During one of their many visits to a favorite craft beer bar, Chris and Nicole dreamed up the idea to open up a brewery, inspired by the beauty, adventure, and community of their mountain hometown. It only seemed natural to start this dream in South Lake Tahoe. That's beautiful.
Yeah,
I love it.
I like that.
For the last several years, Chris and Nicole have taken their idea, their dream, and made it into South Lake Brewing Company. In the fall of 2015, they moved from Southern California back to their hometown to start establishing the roots of their SLBC and dive deeper into the craft beer community. It took 2 more years, but in April of 2017, the doors finally opened of their brewery. Chris and Nicole's passion for Lake Tahoe and craft beer remains strong, and the SLBC continues to grow into the community-focused tasting room and production brewery it was meant to be. It takes a village to raise a child, but it takes an entire community to create a brewery and open a second tap room. Chris and Nicole are forever grateful for their awesome staff, investors, family, and friends. They sound like great people. It's honestly a hell of a story. I love it. It sounds like the stories we have around here.
Yeah.
With like Ramble West and Secret Trail and even Sierra Nevada. There's ties
and
like
hopefully soon
Paradise Brewers too, yeah. Where they left and then came back.
We're snap, crackling, and popping.
Ooh. Yeah. What are you more versed to? Snap, crackle, or
I don't know. I like a crackle.
No, I thought you were more of a snap guy.
Right.
I'm more of a pop dude myself. Anyway, dude, the story is very reminiscent of if I can tie it back to Sierra Nevada and everything, like just the love of craft.
It's relatable.
Craft brew.
I don't think you get into this, at least not successfully. I don't think you successfully get into craft beer without a real passion,
without love,
a real love for doing this, making these beers, and fostering the connections that come with making these beers.
Right. I also, to that extent, too, if I can add,
please.
From what I've seen, I feel like you can't do craft beer. You can do like domestic, just like, widespread beer, without anything. But craft beer to a community, you need a sense of community. You need a sense of community. 100%. You need the people behind you, 100%, to support you in what you already do very well.
Exactly.
And I love that, because if you do it very well, we're gonna get behind you. We're gonna support you.
For sure.
So let's so this is gonna be different.
We've done 10 minutes into this episode without cracking the top.
So we're gonna do this a little different this time, because we're limited in the beers we find. We're limited in the beer fridge.
Yeah, let's peel the curtain back as we do. I was down in the Roseville area, found a tap room, saw just the crazy amount of beers they had in cans, and was like, I'm gonna grab 8 of these. And instead of grabbing 2 of each, I grabbed 1 of each because I wanted to have that much more variety to bring to the podcast.
Right.
So because of that, we're going to be splitting this guy. You know, not what we usually do, but we're going to make it work.
Right. I mean, obviously, our job is to bring you knowledge about this beer and what we think personally about this beer, not to just get drunk and fucking.
Sure. So we can do that in 8 ounces, yeah.
Anyway, 3, 2, 1.
Hey, good
Green
crack. Very nice crack.
Green crack. Like you said, Nick, we have not done a brown ale.
I am excited about that.
On this. And I don't think there's many brown ales that I've tried that have like made like a very like like big note in my head.
They haven't.
You know,
they haven't,
they've been like, all right, it's a brown ale.
Sure.
What do you get off that sniff?
I mean,
dude, not very hoppy.
No.
Very beery, but not very hoppy.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
No, that kind of describes it very well.
Almost like a light lager.
Kinda.
No, like a strong lager. Sorry.
Yeah. I'm curious, man. I kind of just want to dive into this.
Oh, hold on. That is a brown ale.
Yeah,
by the way,
it lives up to the name.
So
for
good.
Sure.
Let's do it. I'm excited about it.
Ooh.
That is delicious.
That is nice.
That is delicious.
That is really nice.
A little bit more about this specific beer. This is the Barrett Brown Ale, 6.3 ABV, which is weird. It doesn't taste quite like a 6.3.
Not at all.
It's a little deceiving.
For sure.
Full bodied for sure.
100%.
Full-bodied brown ale brewed with crystal and pale chocolate malts for a full body and decadent flavor. Notes of raisin bread, German chocolate cake, caramel, and oatmeal cookies. I don't know, cake, oatmeal cookies, bread, whatever. Yes. I don't know if I can just be like, ooh, oatmeal cookies, German chocolate cake, whatever. Yeah. But it does give me like that sweet vibe. That
love it.
It does give me that pastry.
Yeah.
Pastry-ish, which is kind of what they're getting at. Let's cheers.
Sure, buddy.
It does give me that pastry. Like very, very sugary.
It's so interesting. Descriptions like that make me think, at least sometimes, that they're just winging it on like, oh, it tastes like this or it tastes like that. Because there's a
wide gamut of flavors that you can pick from.
I mean, that's a pretty wild selection there.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you can taste that in the beer. Each of those. Maybe some more subtly than others, but you can taste those when you taste the beer.
I think it's all in the same range. Like German chocolate cake, like pastry, cookie, whatever. And then you hear other like hazy things where they're like citrus notes of grapefruit and lime. It's like, okay, it's citrus.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
And they definitely like expose that, and it is about what they put into the beer, which I won't counteract on that point, but it is very sweet on the tail end.
Yeah, which is interesting. I wasn't totally expecting that from this beer.
Me either.
Sweetness.
From what I know of a brown ale, I feel like I don't usually get a sweet note at the end of a brown ale. I feel like the last time I had a brown ale was at Ally's Pub.
That sounds right.
We had a English brown ale.
Right.
And it wasn't necessarily...
This might be a little bit different from...
It wasn't necessarily a sweet end. Yeah. But this definitely gives me like a cookie-ish, cakey vibe on the 100%. end. I know I read like German chocolate cake, and immediately what screamed out to me is not chocolate, but German chocolate cake specifically is coconut.
Right.
There's no coconut in this. I will get that straight for you. There's no coconut in this. But I definitely taste maybe what they're getting at more so is just the cakey flavor.
Yeah.
And it is definitely chocolate, not vanilla.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't hit you immediately with sweet, which I love.
Yeah.
I love immediately. I don't want to drink something unless it's like a cider where I'm expecting something very sweet immediately.
Sure.
I want to taste a beer. I want to taste the bitterness.
Yeah.
And then I want it to lead me somewhere.
Have a note.
Right. I want it to lead me somewhere. This definitely does that. And it doesn't punch you in the face as much as like a hazy or an IPA does.
Right.
It kind of like says, oh, hey, I'm here.
Right.
Let's go this
that way. Yeah.
Let's go this way.
Yeah.
Hey, do you like sugar?
Sure.
You like little sweets? And I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm. I do like that about it.
This doesn't scream me as where we fit it into our day-to-day lives.
No, this is a special occasion once in a while.
Right. It's not a lunchtime beer. It's not a meal beer.
No.
At all.
No.
It's a very, actually, good end of the day campfire
Dessert beer. Yeah.
Dessert beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In that sense, like one beer to end the night, it's not a bad beer to go.
Mm-hmm. Even if you're just like by yourself and you're like, I don't want to drink something like too heavy, but I want a little more something than like 5. This is a great option.
Yeah.
You just drink one.
Yeah.
Fire.
Yeah.
Fire good. This is a very nighttime beer. It's awesome.
That's a great suggestion.
Awesome. You want to rate it?
I think we can rate it. I think we're there.
I'm excited. I want to go to South Lake and visit the brewery.
We are. We're scheduled to go to North Lake Tahoe, to go to Tahoe City, which is up on the northern side of the lake, in June. But I'm sure we can get down to South Lake.
I'm not worried about it. We got our lives in front of us.
Couple hours. We'll make it happen.
Yeah. We got our lives in front of us. And
our lives in
we
front
got
of
our
us.
lives in front. Listen, world is oyster.
Joshua Block. I don't know why I thought of Josh, because you said world is oyster, and I thought of world of t-shirts.
Free our boy. Anyway.
Free our boy.
Anyway. Well, Tahoe is a very short drive. Very short drive.
For us, it's not too bad.
For us, it's not too bad. We'll make it there eventually. We talked about
it's an easy weekend for sure.
Talked about the little, webisodes and stuff like that.
We should be fun to do a little. Yeah, that'd be cool. I'm gonna let you score first. I scored first on the last episode.
You did.
I did.
You did. I'm gonna give this a brown ale. Let me taste it one more time. I'm going to give it a 7.25. 7.25 because it's the first brown ale that we've reviewed. But that being said, I'm still not comparing it to any brown ale.
Sure.
I'm just going off of the flavor alone and how I would want this in my day-to-day life.
Sure.
And you know what? That being said, I'm going to give it a 7.5.
Ooh, okay.
I'm going to bump it up a little bit.
Okay.
Because I'm not going to just be not mad. I'm going to be a little bit happy that you give this to me.
Oh, of course. Yeah, it's a good taste.
If I'm camping with you, or I'm camping with you, and you toss me this, I'm going to be like, ooh.
Yeah, well, as long as it's past 7 p.m., count me in.
Ooh, that little South Lake Brewing brown ale? I'll be like, that's a nice little thing.
It's for sure a fun pull.
Yeah, dude. Dude, I'm a little more excited about it. So 7.5.
Yeah. Okay.
I feel like it's right there in that sweet spot where I'm like, dude, if you don't give it to me, all right. If you do give it to me, hell yeah.
Right.
You know?
Right. I got you. I see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
I like
good camping beer, by the way.
I like this podcast for a lot of reasons. One of the reasons is it really is just an opportunity for us to try new beers and hang out and chill. That's always fun. We just happen to be recording it. One of the other reasons is that our opinions can differ pretty significantly beer to beer. I don't think there's been one There might have been one beer where we've had the exact same score. But for the most part, there's a little bit of discrepancy, at least a little bit of discrepancy. To that end, this is going to be a 6.75 for me.
Understandable, honestly.
It's from the get-go, it's not my style of beer, which, maybe shouldn't factor too much into the score, but I feel like it has to at some point.
Wait, did you say 7.5 or
6.75?
Okay. I thought he was going to 7.
No. 6.75. I think it's good beer. I don't think it's landing into like the above average, like great beers that I'll have on a regular basis. But
we should start doing that, by the way.
So
I'm sorry, finish your thought and then I'll
I mean, I was pretty much finished.
Is we should start when I deliver a score or you deliver a score, keep in your head what you think the other person's gonna give. And then when you I think he's gonna give this score.
That'd be fun.
And then when you say it, be like, oh, I thought you were gonna give this.
That'd be fun.
Just based off each other's tastes.
That would be fun. Yeah, it's a 6.75. It's a beer that I'll have once in a while that will taste very good. But it's not a regular basis for me.
No.
It's a little much for what it is. I know it's not a very scientific way of explaining it, but
I understand that.
It's just it's if I'm having a beer at the end of the night.
For 6.3, it's a lot.
Yeah. If I'm having a beer at the end of the night.
It's not that much for 6.3. I expect a little more bite.
Yeah.
If
I'm having a beer at the end of the night, it's one beer. I'll probably have a Sierra Nevada oatmeal cookie stout for 10.5%. That'll put me to bed nicely. This is like, you could have this, or you could have something way lighter, or you could have something just a little bit heavier and be fine. Like, it doesn't fit the bill for me for what I would want it to be, if that makes sense.
Actually, that being said,
a lot of juxtaposition, but
that being said, this would disappoint me if we're like river sitting, right, during the day, like 2 p.m., 3 p.m. We're like on a Saturday, we're going to the lower park, sitting in the river. This would disappoint me because it doesn't punch me as hard worth the ABV, and then during the night it's actually kind of worth it because I'm looking for that higher ABV without the punch. So I feel like this is very like time-wise trickery.
It sits in a weird zone in terms of when it's best.
When it's best. I feel like this is the first one that's honestly done that.
Yeah.
For me and you.
It's kind of an enigma in that way. So for me, because of those reasons, 6.75.
Sure. It's a fair score. I love it. No less, it is still a great beer.
Yeah. Cheers, buddy.
Cheers. Super smooth for a 6.3.
100%.
Jesus. Anyway, don't forget to like and subscribe. Drop a comment if you tasted this beer. Still fumbling. Drop a comment and
You got this.
to recommend what beers you want us to try next. Anyway, you crack one for us, we'll crack one for you. We'll see you later.
Cheers.
We always fumble the end.
We unravel flavors lore. Mosaic dreams take flight of IPAs and we adore. Raise a toast to what's new here in the world of craft beer with Sunday Sips. Sunday Sips. Every pour a trip with our Sunday Sips. and cheer. Craft beer's near. Sunday's treasure's clear with our Sunday sips. Sunday sips. Every for a trip with a Sunday.